Good. We just thought of having another mini retreat with you all so that you can practice. The more you practice, the tendencies will get back to the original habit of keeping quiet mentally. The mind has become habitual to keep thinking, and these thinkings get converted into worries. So that the old saying of mine, I'll remind, our Masterji used to tell in childhood, Chinta is much more dangerous than Chita. Chinta means worries, mental worries. Chita is funeral pyre. By the time our body is on the funeral pyre, we won't have any consciousness. We don't know where we are. So we are not aware of any surroundings. So it doesn't matter. Simply the body gets burned. But Chinta, worries, while alive, when you are conscious of this world, all the happenings, surroundings, everything, that makes you to worry. So that is the basic problem of every human being. Human beings, everybody is looking for peace and happiness. So let us get back to our job. You are here to silence your mind. Its habits are to be quietened. It is habitual to keep thinking like chatterbox. If you just watch the thoughts and visions, don't bother about any sound, any vision. Nothing is as important as the mind itself. When the mind itself is revealed, that is the greatest wonder, that is the supreme consciousness, that is the Atman, that is you, your real self, how you exist beyond the birth and death of this physical body, as I keep telling all the time.
My question is, explain importance of initiation.
A guru master, if he is a self-realized teacher, takes initiative to tell the right path. So this is how you have to do sadhana. And then by his eyes vision, he transmits some vibrations of power. It is like a father gives a son some $100 to start a business. Then the son has to continue with the business and make it more and more. Like that, the power is given, and then the disciple has to start doing sadhana. So that's why a guru-disciple relationship is always recommended. Also, a guru acts like a torch bearer, always guiding and inspiring, motivating the student. Keep going, you can do it. So he induces the purushartha that is necessary. So these are all the significant points of initiation.
No, sir.
Babaji. My question is, if somebody has a back problem, is it okay to meditate reclining with a back support or lying down, or it has to be always cross-legged and straight?
Avoid lying down, but you can sit to a recliner, keeping your legs upwards also. And for your back, you can keep some cushion. See that you are able to sit straight. If that is comfortable, that is recommended. Because if you lie down, one is likely to go to sleep eventually. As long as you don't fall asleep, you are aware of your existence, you can try lying down also. But the best thing is to use a recliner and see that your back and neck are kept straight.
And one small question, when I do the meditation accordingly, I don't visualize, I just focus on the third eye. So I feel quiet and peaceful, but then I don't feel that I'm losing the sense of time. I'm very well alert. So my senses are not going inwards. There's peace, but I can't retract in.
Continue with this practice. It is good. you are progressing, it has to go further. Total awareness of the surroundings has to go. That means that is when the mind is supposed to 100% gathered here, is ready to go introvert. That is when it gets detached from the brain's reflections and the seeker feels as if he is here. It is totally blossomed, ready to go to Samadhi. Till then, your effort must be on. Don't give up.
Thank you so much.
Babaji, my question is about the worldly desires because I feel that they are troubling me too much to go deeper in my sadhana or to go more deeper.
Yeah, you must avoid. Just have the desire only to the need, so that you need to sustain your physical body. Now, finally, it is up to your willpower. The minimum that you can have your desire, you can progress well in meditation. Otherwise, these things will trouble. The worldly desires will trouble you. So, you have to take care, use your willpower, gain the detachment, vairagya. Remember that the world is impermanent. There is once in a life cycle opportunity to you. Your body itself is impermanent. Like Krishna tells Arjuna, before death shall claim thee. Don't forget this point, but need not be worried or afraid or scared of. So death is inevitable, but it is a blessing so that you can go back to your real self. So without wasting, you must try to meditate. We will pray for you.
Babaji, at the start you mentioned something about chinta and chitta. So my question is, how important are funeral rites to be performed for the deceased? And what impact has the funeral rites on the deceased soul and mind, and on the living people that are close members of the deceased in their souls and mind?
Say important, it is the proper traditional manners that we take leave with due respects. We 4 people carry a dead body. All those 4 people also know when they die, they will have to be carried by somebody. So that's why we have to show that respect is shown. So that is important. Whatever happens to the physical body, it is the mind which would have acquired any such habits. If it had totally detached from the existence of its own body, its elevation towards divinity will be faster. It will go spiritual heights. If it has become attached, then it will get another physical body. It will assume another incarnation. So that's what happens based on the acquired habits of the mind. So for a person, for the deceased, mind and its purification, its silencing and its acquired habits are all very important. For the living, proper manners, traditions, they are all very important.
And Babaji, just to follow up, to what extent should somebody perform respect? Because in different countries got different traditions, different rules, different governments. So to what aspect some people would want something very simple, some people would want something very complex. So according to your advice, or to a practical means, to what aspect should one follow rites?
Finally, it's your choice. Whatever is possible for you, mentally and in your behavior, you show due respect. Other ingredients, whatever is available, whatever is possible based on that. So it is generally, we remember are the good qualities of the departed soul. Try to help the poor feeding, just a langar type, all these things are recommended. So amongst this, whatever it appeals to you, you can doing a fire sacrifice. Some others may have simple prayers. So different varieties. So finally, whatever appeals to you, whatever is possible, you do. That is important.
Thank you. Pranam Babaji.
Yes, hello, Babaji. Nice to see you again. When we produce a thought, so when the mind starts thinking, we recognize the thought as a thought. Is the mind able to produce thoughts we are not recognizing? So it happens behind the screen. That's the way I may explain the question. Is the mind able to produce thought we're not recognizing as a thought?
Yes, because mind can produce a thought based on its habits, attitudes, and when it produces a thought, it itself can get involved into the illusion of that thought and fail to recognize that it is a thought, it is simply my own imagination. So that is how when a thought appears, mind can forget this thought is there because of my imagination. Instead, mind can get involved into the thought, considering that thought to be a fundamental reality, which is not true.
I have a follow-up question, and that is observing. When I meditate and I observe this point between my eyebrows, is this in itself a thought?
Just observing is not a thought, because you are not thinking and you are not recognizing, you are not analyzing, you are not making any judgment. Just as a witness, you are observing, you are watching. That is what we mean. Observing is not a thought. When you observe, you don't analyze, you don't judge, you just see there, it is there. Then that thought will disappear.
Thank you very much.
First of all, I hope you are in good health.
Yes.
And everyone. My humble question is, sir, in one of your quotes you have mentioned, Babaji, that whenever we sit for meditation, our balance of meditation increases. My question is, whenever we sit for meditation, will that balance increase only when we are expunge our thoughts, when we are 100% focused in our middle of brikati, or whenever when we are in process of meditation, like there are lots of thoughts are coming and going, so and so forth.
Whenever you sit, some amount of progress definitely happens. So you must sit, do not give up sitting. So now in this, it depends on your efforts, your ability, your determination, disciplined practice. So if you follow the instructions, if you understand the instructions of the master, just watch. Then if you make your mind or yourself just watch, then the progress will be tremendous. So it depends on the expertise that you can obtain by the master's instructions. But some progress definitely happens. You just follow the instruction, then you can progress much better.
Yes, Maharaj. Just today itself, the 100% only comes for 1 minute or 2 minutes, or sometimes 1 second itself. So will that it's part of my journey itself, or it's just an ongoing experience?
Whatever it is, do not lose heart. It's good. That much has come is really wonderful. You can progress. Keep going, keep going. Do not give up, never stop. So you are progressing.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Namaskar, Babaji. Babaji, I have been meditating for some time, and flickering of eyelid, it's not any of my problem. I never have it. And I always get to some degree less and more of concentration. Today was the first time I was trying to meditate in your powerful presence, and amazingly, from the first moment of meditation, I closed my eyes, my eyelids were flickering like crazy, and I couldn't control it. And it was going during all the time, and I had no moment of concentration. I am wondering what happened, Babaji.
You need to practice. Relax always when you sit for meditation, remain relaxed so that the restlessness of the mind comes down. Then do not allow the flickering of the eyelids. It is important that both eyeballs and eyelids must not be moved, they must be steadily. That's why we try to tell, gently close your eye and just keep watching gently the front portion. So then the flickering of the eyelids will gradually decrease and stop. I will also pray for you. You will be able to do it. Continue with this meditation. Wonderful. Blessings.
If you allow me, Babaji, if you allow me, but as I said, I never had it. It was the first time that I am doing in your meditation, in your presence, and this happened. This must be, I don't know.
Yeah, quite possible some excitement would have occurred to you in my presence of the powerful vibrations that would have caused. So slowly you will get used to it as you participate in our meditation, and it will be all right.
Babaji, when a person becomes self-realized, the physical body, does that seem restrictive? Or do they not mind whether they have a body or whether they don't have a body?
See, in their imagination or awareness, there is no body, but the body mechanically moves. I have told many times that a little bit of consciousness is in touch with the brain with some help of sattvic ego, like remembering the master to spread this message. We keep it like that one. It is a skill that slowly you practice. Now after the samadhi, you bring back the mind to the level of brain, keep in touch so that you can operate in this world. Otherwise the body falls down, it will be end. So that is how we keep it. Though in my mind there is no such imagination, this as Shiva Rudra Balayogi, this as a self-realized soul, this as a person moving here and there, this having properties, nothing is there. No such imagination occurs, no such thoughts come. It is totally silent.
Thank you, Babaji.
My question is like I sort of get attracted to certain people, but like I don't even know who they are, kind of thing. Like I just know their image, and like how do I remedy that and like get to know the person? Like is it even worth it?
Not at all. You slowly move. After some time only you will know a person. Do not try to know instantly. You can cheat yourself. So that is a big lesson that we heard in our childhood from our elders.
What do you mean cheat yourself? Like what do you mean?
As you move with people, slowly you will know their character, their culture, their behavior, their personality. So do not be in a rush to know. Don't make a judgment so quickly. Many people tell, by just one sight I can understand people. Nobody really understands human beings. Human beings can be changing so quickly, you never know them.
Cool. Thanks.
So, Babaji, somebody sent in a question and asked me to ask on their behalf.
Okay, I'll take.
I recently felt intense energy explosions up my spine. My eyes started rolling upwards and I could feel the energies trying to move out through the crown. And I was going into another world, almost blacking out. What do we do when it happens? Am I imagining all this?
You have to meditate just watching. However, if necessary, you can slowly open your eyes, get up, wash your face, remember the master, try to chant his name, like Om Shivaya, Shiva Bala Yogendraya, Parabrahmanaya, this mantra for 5 minutes, and then sit back for meditation. It will be all right. You have to simply cool down. That's what it is needed.
Babaji has explained how the basic aim of meditation is to concentrate the mind, make it more single pointed. Can Babaji explain how that eventually enables the consciousness to expand?
This is a personal experience. I can try to give a little bit of clue, but finally only when you experience only you will understand this. First the mind gathers and the thought all disappear, visions all disappear, it all become. Then when it starts merging with that ultimate self which is all pervading, then you simply feel as if you are everywhere, and this body, this universe, everything is within you. That type of experience does happen, but this is an individual experience. It cannot be demonstrated. You have to go deeper into that samadhi, then this can be felt. This happens. So just like the clues, that examples I have given is, from a small home you belong to a big country, big world and big space, and we realize we all belong to one space. So that is conscious also expands. Oh, space is ours, it all belongs to us, we belong to space. Like that the consciousness expands. It's an amazing experience.
Thank you, Babaji.
I'm finding that I'm totally bored. I have, no imagination. It's just boring, or maybe I'm just afraid.
Let me tell you, this boring itself is an imagination. You still have an imagination, that is why you are feeling bored. Once this imagination disappears, there is no question of any boring at all. Because when the boring happens, you are missing the worldly things. That's when boring happens. You are used to so much of this worldly thing, to be active or to be doing something or to be talking some such topic. So when you have become used and habitual, so if you miss that one, it would be boring for you. So that's what. But actually the day when you lose all imagination, it is so peaceful, so quietness, so serenity. It's wonderful. Strive for that through practice of meditation. We will pray for you.
Thank you.
If a person continue to do meditate regularly and total devotion to his Guru Maharaj, this kind of devotion and attachment sincerely could lead to supreme peace, or where I came from merge into supreme peace.
You see, when you are devoted to your Guru with total devotion, as you meditate slowly, as your consciousness expands, you will learn automatically and cultivate to see your Guru everywhere, in everything, as everything. If anybody gives you a kiss on the forehead, it is your Guru. If anybody slaps, it is your Guru. So all the time your consciousness will merge into the Guru. It will only remember Guru. As I have told, for Mirabai, in her consciousness only Krishna was there. Even Mira was not there. The day your conscious expands, only the Guru will be there. Even Abhishek will not be there.
My second question is, when questioning to Guru Maharaj came into end, I mean, there is no question more into my mind. Just totally devotion to and love to Guru Maharaj. Then what will happen, Babaji?
That will happen. Devotion will happen. What else has to happen? In your consciousness, you will see always the Guru is there. It will elevate you spiritually. Your meditation will get elevated. It will get more purified. So practically when it happens in reality. And nothing else is needed.
You mentioned to Suzanne earlier that you must be completely devoid of imagination. My question is, when you live in everyday life and you have to earn a living and you have to plan things and do things, then you need to engage some imagination to plan your life, to plan your work, to plan every day, etc., etc. So what is the difference between that imagination and planning your life? Because you have to plan your life and you live every day and you have a job and all that sort of thing, which involves planning and imagination.
Your mind, you, has the ability to be creative, means has the ability to imagine. That is a great quality. It's not an ordinary thing. So when you need it, you use the imagination. Once the job is done, you make it quiet. Otherwise, you might feel bored, you might go into depression. You should not depend for your happiness or peace on the things of this world. That is the advice. Because everything is impermanent. You may get it, you may not get it. So you don't have to worry. You get it, you are happy. You don't get it, you are happy. Under any circumstances, nothing of this world must be able to disturb your peace. So that is the idea. So imagination itself is not a wrong thing. When you lose control, when you always have the imagination, that is troublesome. So that is what you are trying to do in meditation. To quieten the mind means you are taking control of yourself, so that when you need to imagine, imagine. When you need not, you don't imagine.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Babaji, you talk about the importance of the mind being strong, that we need to strengthen the mind. But it's the mind that creates the imagination. So how do you mean have a strong mind?
You see, actually mind is nothing but pure consciousness, which is nothing but you. Simply at times different terminologies might be used. You need to have a strong mind means if you are operating in this world, then you need to have a strong mind. Or in other words, you need to be strong enough. Means you should be able to stop yourself, you should be able to move yourself, you should be able to think, you should be able to stop thinking. Just like handling a car on the road and bringing it back to garage. That is what I mean actually, strong mind means. So when you are using, when you need to think the right way, when you need to remain determined, apply willpower, all these things, that you call it as mind. At that time I may call you as a mind. You need to have a strong mind. You and your mind are not different actually.
So it's about the mind controlling the mind.
Yes, in fact.
Thank you,
Babaji. Babaji, is it a weakness of the human mind to want God to fulfill our wishes, to pray to God to fulfill any of our wishes? Is that some sort of weakness of the human mind?
You see, a weakness happens in a different circumstance. Suppose you just have a wish, wanting something of this world. That itself is not a weakness. You can have it. But if it doesn't happen, if it is getting delayed, you must not lose your peace, happiness, or your focus, all these things. So if you lose your peace and happiness, that becomes your weakness. Because you are not getting the things of the world, you are losing your peace. So because you are not getting the things of this world, you are weak now. You are weakening yourself. Thus you lose your peace and happiness, your contentment. You need to be strong whether you get the things of the world or not. no problem. That attitude has to be there. So that is when things are called your weakness or your strength, or just natural, like that you are there. A weakness is like you are attached to a particular person, so others will call, oh, that person is his weakness, Simon's weakness, because if anything happens to that person, if anybody tells something to that person, anybody criticizes that person, so Simon gets affected. It is Simon's weakness. That is how they call. If you remain unaffected, it is not your weakness.
Thank you, Yogi.
I know that the mind is everything. I understand that, and so if I am in a very disturbing situation or surroundings for a long time, and I'm working with myself to try to just keep watching and working, is it an illusion to think that if I take myself out of the situation or I change it, I know I'll still be left with my mind, but is it okay to make a major change in the interest of peace?
Yeah, you see, even medically also they advise, psychiatrists advise. First thing is, if you can remain unaffected in spite of the situation, that is the greatest thing. However, if it is becoming very difficult, not possible, you have to change for an atmosphere. For a change, you leave that place, go somewhere else, and try to do something else. So that is other option.
We have one other question sent in.
Yeah.
The person is asking, I would like to ask, what happens to our soul after death, and how does it differ to people who want to reach moksha and don't want to rebirth again?
You see, when death happens, the brain dies. It stops functioning. But the mind, which is the consciousness, is carrying symptoms, acquired habits, imprints throughout its life and maybe since previous lives. Based on that, its thought processes, attitude forms. So it visualizes like that at the end of the time. So when finally brain stops, based on whatever it had acquired habits to visualize, so thinking or resolve, it assumes next birth based on them. If it is positive, less violent, then it can get better elevated birth, more spiritually inclined from childhood itself. It will be born to such parents, such circumstances, such surroundings, and all its friends. As it grows, its understanding capacity, its observation capacity, everything will be very positive to elevate you towards spirituality. Otherwise, it can be reverse, negative. Everything can be negative. So this is what happens for a person who has still imaginations in the mind. Now all the satsanga practices in spirituality or religion, to worship, to pray, to do sadhana like repeating of God's name or a mantra, or finally this meditation which helps you to silence your mind. The one who wants to go to moksha, not to be reborn, so must achieve the total silence of the mind. That is the technical need and important point. That is the technique we give in meditation. Just watch in between eyebrows so that you can get rid of all imagining habits, all acquired habits or which are in the subconscious state also gets evaporated, purified, and only pure consciousness remains, which achieves the samadhi, total stillness. So that is when once the body dies, that soul is not reborn. It merges with the ultimate truth, that is divinity all pervaded.
Thank you, Babaji.
Sometimes when in meditation, I go to little bit deeper concentration, my heart is start pumping so strong that can even shake my body. I am wondering, is it just excitement of mind or has something also to do with the, I don't know, heart center, consciousness,
Yeah.
chakra center?
It is likely that sometimes you might be in a rush to achieve, and in the excitement you might try to force it upon like this. I must get. At that time, these things are likely to happen. So slowly, peacefully, in a relaxed way, you proceed, then these things will not happen. Because in this process of just watching gently, politely, I keep telling, so then the mind gets composed. Once the mind gets composed at peace, so all the body things, everything gets controlled. Simply in a smoother way, the breathing also happens, then heart and other organs all keep functioning. So after an hour of meditation, you can try to take some water, half a glass of water, so that everything is normal. So this is what you have to follow, and then it won't happen, that turbulence will not happen.
Thank you.
It's about the question that about the after the death. The normal person has the habitual mind and is reborn, but a yogi who comes again to this world has not this habitual mind. So how he's born here again and has his mind also with the worldly world.
If it is a divine's ordainment, if the yogi has a mission, then with a resolution, he will be able to come back. It is for the divine to ordain, if the guru ordains. So in those circumstances only it happens. But he will come back as a yogi for the welfare of this world.